history, the Scottish people have demonstrated many strengths of character: determination, principle, tenacity. All have contributed greatly to the life of the United Kingdom, the Commonwealth, and indeed the world. This history is invaluable as a source from which to draw faith and confidence in the future. Many of the characteristics of this new Parliament, such as its single chamber, the importance it accords to committees, the role of the presiding officer, can trace their origins to the old Scots Parliament as it developed over the centuries leading up to 1707. We see in this new Parliament, even after 4 short years, clear signs of a legislature that is distinctly Scottish, a legislature that is working, as you said, presiding officer, to fit contemporary Scotland into Britain, into Europe, and into the wider world. It is a modern reaffirmation of the ancient bond that has linked Crown, Parliament, and people for hundreds of years. The days when Scotland was limited to a few acts each year are now over. Today, across the whole range of important issues, this Parliament is carving out a distinctly Scottish position. I commend you in particular for your commitment to work in partnership with the people. At a time when in many countries there is disengagement from politics, parliaments everywhere can draw on your experience with your petitioning process, from the regular meetings of your committees throughout the land, from your engagement with young people, and from your determination to employ the latest technology to reach out to the electorate. Shortly, we shall become neighbours when this Parliament moves to its new campus at the bottom end of the Royal Mile. The old Scottish Parliament House was the first purpose-built legislature in the British Isles. It is a building of great distinction and charm, sitting in the High Street close to the people. The new Holyrood Parliament will be rooted in the land of Scotland, in an ancient part of this capital city, dramatically linking this country's future with its past. I hope that it too will be close to the people and be seen as a bold statement of Scotland's standing in the world. Presiding officer, when I addressed members of the Scottish Parliament last year in Aberdeen, I said that I had confidence in your commitment to the service of the Scottish people. I reaffirm that confidence today as you embark on this second parliamentary session. I wish you well in your discussions in such a diverse chamber. The different perspectives to which you referred can indeed enrich debate, and the contributions of all shades of opinion will be listened to with interest, I'm sure, not just here, but elsewhere in Britain, in Europe, and the Commonwealth. The Duke of Edinburgh joins me in wishing this Parliament and its members every success as you embark on the work of your new session. May God bless your deliberations in the months to come.
I call on the First Minister, Jack McConnell, to reply.
Your Majesty, on behalf of the members here and all of the people of Scotland, I thank you for opening the second session of our Parliament. While our young Parliament has been in place for only 4 years, and some of the members have only been here for 4 weeks, Your Majesty has been in her job for rather longer. I was fortunate enough to be at Westminster Abbey yesterday to join the celebration of the 50th anniversary of your coronation, and I was very happy to represent to devolve government in Scotland there. Throughout that time, Your Majesty has shown a keen interest in Scotland and the lives of the Scottish people. Not surprisingly, you visited Scotland as part of the first royal tour following the coronation in 1953. Your Majesty arrived in Scotland at Waverley Station on the 23rd of June, when you were met by the then Lord Provost of Edinburgh. Many members may be surprised to learn that the Provost on the platform that day was not Eric Milligan. But during that tour and since, Scots have enjoyed those visits and welcomed the support and encouragement regularly given by Your Majesty and the Duke of Edinburgh to those who serve others in national organisations or in local communities. And we're grateful to you for the time you've spent in Scotland and the way in which you've engaged so enthusiastically with people throughout Scotland over the last 50 years, and particularly with our Parliament since its opening day in 1999. On that day, the late Donald Dewar said that it was a rare privilege in an old nation to open a new Parliament. It was indeed, and it was an honour to sit as an elected member of this new Parliament for those first 4 years. But it's also been a challenge to establish a new voice in the land, to begin to pass good and just laws, and to govern with compassion and integrity. But we met that challenge, and now we move into a new chapter with this second session. No longer establishing a new institution and learning to govern in new ways, but now using our collective wisdom to build on that start and win confidence and respect by making a difference in Scotland. In those 4 short years, we have in Scotland also renewed our identity and impact abroad. We've taken our place amongst the devolved nations and regions of Europe, welcomed interest in visitors from all over the world, and seen increased interest elsewhere in Scottish affairs. And later this year, we will be proud to host the Commonwealth Education Ministers when they meet here in Edinburgh. It will be a special occasion that will mark the contribution of Scottish education to the rest of the world, but it will also discuss the demands which a modern education service must meet in an ever-changing world, a world where gaps in ambition and achievement still too often reflect social conditions and injustice. It will build on the past, but it will also help governments across the Commonwealth, including our own, to build for the future. Your Majesty, when you opened our Parliament on the 1st of July 1999, you gave us a gift of the mace, inscribed with the memorable words, "There shall be a Scottish Parliament." But also inscribed on the mace are the 4 words which have come to mean a huge amount to all of us: wisdom, justice, compassion and integrity. The creation of this Parliament was never an end in itself. It was a means to improve government and improve life in Scotland. And similarly, those 4 words should not just underpin our actions and deliberations, they should lead us to deliver change, which makes a real and sustained difference to those that we represent. To deliver justice for those who are the victims of crime or who suffer prejudice or discrimination. To show compassion for those who need our help, to raise their aspirations or realise their ambitions, or to take responsibility for the second chance which so many sometimes need. To behave with integrity, putting our duty of service to our constituents ahead of ourselves in ways which help rebuild confidence in elected government. And to value wisdom